student from the Pacific and Asian Studies at UVic. Today I would like to talk about my master's thesis. It is called Aspects of the Ainu Spiritual Belief Systems, an examination of the literary and artistic representations of the owl god. My thesis examines the literary and artistic representations of the owl god. This figure is the god of the village or guardian of the village in Ainu spiritual belief systems. This is an outline of my presentation. What I would like to argue is that the Ainu culture is not a dead culture, but it is a living culture. People tend to imagine Ainu culture with its traditional aspects associating with their traditional way of lives. Traditional Ainu culture included ritual and ceremonial activities, creations of various material tools for livelihoods, and the recitals for the oral literature. These activities no longer play a central role in modern Ainu communities. However, we could find some elements derived from Ainu traditions in contemporary Ainu culture, especially in the form of visual arts. Thus, in some senses, my thesis extends the frame of the Ainu culture from the past to present by including the contemporary Ainu arts. The goal of this study is to demonstrate that although the language and physical communities are under threat by Japanese migration and the modern industrial economy, the spiritual belief in the owl god as the guardian of the village continues to exist in contemporary Ainu works of art. In addition, I will argue that the representations of the owl god, Kotan Kurukamui, is an important symbolic expression of the Ainu identity. So I'd like to start my presentation with a brief introduction of the Ainu people who are considered indigenous people of Japan. This map shows traditional Ainu settlement areas. Traditionally, Ainu people settled 3 different locations and were divided into Sakhalin Ainu, Kuril Ainu, and Hokkaido Ainu. The Japanese government was ignorant of Ainu and their ethnicity for a long time. Indeed, it was just in 2008 that the Japanese government officially recognized the Ainu people as an indigenous group of people in Japan, indigenous group in Japan. In my project, I will focus on the group of people called Hokkaido Ainu. Today, Ainu people live across Japan. However, Hokkaido is considered their spiritual homeland, and the majority of the population lives in this northern prefecture. According to the government survey taken in 2006, the number of Ainu people living in Hokkaido was 23,782. Therefore, 0.4% of the total population of Hokkaido is Ainu heritage. However, it is important to be aware that there may be more people who are descendants of Ainu ethnicity. A long history of Japanese discrimination towards Ainu prevents them from expressing their cultural identities. The Ainu believe in the existence of nature, existence of spirits in nature, such as animals and plants. Only those who are high-ranked are considered as a kamui, meaning god or deity. This painting is titled Ainu Mosher, Kamui Mosher, meaning land of humans and land of gods. In many Ainu societies, the bear, killer whale, and the owl are considered as the highest ranked kamui. The bear represents the god of mountains, the killer whale is the god of sea, and the owl represents the god of the village. Ainu people believe the kamui or gods live in the kamui mosher in the form of human beings. When they visit Ainu mosher, they wear an armor of animals, and their spirits literally sit between the ears of animals. Therefore, animals are the temporary disguise of kamui. So although there is a regional variation in his name, Blackstone Fish Owl is often called as Kotankor Kamui in the Ainu language, meaning the god of village. Ainu people may respect owls for two key reasons. First, owls eat rats, protecting food stores. Second, owls give warning cries about approaching trouble in the night. In addition, the owl god is also linked to the god of creation. They share the same name, Kotankor Kamui. After the land creator god, Kotankor Kamui, created the world, the owl god was commissioned by him to plant the seeds of trees, grasses, plants such as barnyard grass and foxtail millet around the world. The owl god came down from Kamui Mosher, the land of gods, flew over the land day and night and planted the seeds around the world. Thus people today do not have to worry about food supply. For this reason, people began to worship the owl god as Kotankor Kamui, the same name as the creator of the land, with great appreciation and respect. Although Blackstone Fish Owl has inhabited Hokkaido for thousands of years, its numbers are declining due to the environmental degradation, such as logging and constructions of dams in Hokkaido, and it raises the issue of loss of habitat and shortage of food such as salmon. The numbers of Blackstone Fish Owl is currently around 120 in Hokkaido. The Ainu belief systems are greatly reflected in their oral literature. For instance, the beliefs about the owl god are embedded in the stories belonging to Kamui Yukaru, meaning songs of gods, and transmitted orally from generation to generation. In the genre of Kamui Yukaru, various animal gods appear and speak of own experiences using the subject of I. Because the subject is always I, Sakehe, meaning the name, is utilized as a means to identify the deities. There are various origins of Sakehe, however, many stories of the owl god have Sakehe indicating the cry of the owl, such as hum or hum hum. Approximately 30 stories of the owl god have been found. In my project, I analyzed 4 different stories of the owl god. The presence of the owl god is close to humans as his role as a guardian of the village and shares similar emotions that humans have. However, the owl god's power distinguishes his presence above all humans and animals in Ainu Mosher. Animal gods often appear as main character in the stories belonging to the Kamui Yukaru, songs of gods, but the visual representations of them are rarely found. Use of wild animal representation was traditionally prohibited. People believed they might trap the spirits of Kamui in the object. In order to be respectful to the Kamui, Ainu people did not use representations of animals in their material arts except for specific items used for rituals. However, I was not able to find the representations of owls on these items. Although it is symbolic, there is an example of representing the owls. This illustration is a collaborative design of morel known as the god eyes, representing the owls. In the design, we can find the eyes of an owl. There is a spiritual meaning applied to this design, which is often stitched on Ainu clothing as we see in the picture on the right. We are able to observe the 2 morel in the center to symbolize the eyes of an owl. Eyes of the gods were believed to prevent evil spirits from entering the human body. In order to avoid the tricks played by the mischievous gods, they designed this on the back of their clothing where people could not see them. Association of eyes with owls is attributed to their traditional belief systems. Ainu people believe the owls are able to see in the dark, and therefore Blackstone fish owls in particular are able to watch over village day and night and protect humans from evil spirits. The idea of eyes of the gods as protection for the people came from their beliefs in owls. In Ainu traditional material arts, the representations of owls were symbolic. telling was a popular daily activity for the Ainu because the spiritual belief systems were deeply rooted in Ainu society and culture. Ainu traditional material arts were also influenced by their beliefs. However, Ainu gradually lost their traditional way of life by the expansion of Japanese control over their land. In 1868, following the Meiji Restoration, the government renamed the land Hokkaido to officially recognize the land as a part of the country and initiated a large influx of Japanese migration. The Japanese government also banned Ainu customs and language. This was a time when changing lifestyles gradually distanced the Ainu people from their traditional beliefs and practices. Now my project is looking at how the Ainu traditions are continued in contemporary works of art. The masterpiece of art is a work by Takiguchi Masamichi in 2000. It is titled Blackstone Fish Owl. We are able to find the Ainu traditional design, moreru, carved on his wings, chest, and forehead. It is interesting to observe that the design, both eyes, and perhaps moreru itself, were derived from the owls, and now the design returned where it originally came from. In this particular work, Takiguchi successfully transformed the Ainu tradition and ideas associated with the owl into his work. It is depicted in a dignified way as the extraordinary animal god in Ainu spiritual belief systems. A group of Ainu totem poles called the Playground of the Gods, located in Barnaby Mountain Park, was made by the Ainu artist Nukuri Toko in 1990. Toko is well known for the wooden owl carvings. Totem poles that were made by Toko often have animal gods on the top of each pole. This is why he calls them gods of tree, because it looks like the gods sitting on the trees. On the top of the totem poles, the owl is not carved in the middle of the pole, but rather he was carved as three-dimensional on the top of the totem pole, the place closest to the sky. Toko also expresses the main characters such as the owl god and bear god from Kamo Yukaru, meaning songs of God, in his work. The playground of the gods is translated into Kamui Mintara in Ainu language. He might express the visit of Kamui to Ainu Mosher from Kamui Mosher. For instance, the shorter poles with no animal motifs indicate humans. Since there are various deities who appear in the Kamui Yukaru or songs of gods, these groups of totem poles are the visual representation of this oral literature. This is something that he wanted to do in the beginning when he started carving wooden owls. My thesis examines the sense of continuity through examining a symbolic expression of the owl god from the past to present. Through this study, we will discover ways in which the Ainu have been able to respond to historical and social pressures through their oral and material artistic representations. From this discovery, we will be able to suggest ways in which the Ainu may be able to preserve their cultural identity in the face of increasing global pressure towards modernity. In this way, this study may offer suggestions to both the Ainu and other cultural groups involved in the process of cultural preservation. Thank you.